Assalamualaikum my dear students. Today we are going to start with the new topic of information technology for standard 12th. Chapter name is Advanced Javascript, and this is my 40th lecture on this Advanced JavaScript chapter. We are continuing with our revision. Okay, in last lecture I have explained you the function, that there are two types of function. What is function? A function is what? It is a group of instructions, okay, repetitive instruction which we store it in one block, and whenever we require it we can call that function by calling the function by its name. Correct? So there are two procedure. There are two types. One is user defined function, which are already defined, like passing, password, string, etc. And another one is user defined function. That user defined function is a function which we define, which user define as per the requirement. Okay, and we set all the repetitive instruction in one block. Okay, we put all the repetitive instructions which are repeating again and again in our program, so we can store it in one function. Whenever we require that pattern, we can call it by its name. So there are two procedure. One is function calling, another one is function definition. Okay, now today we are going to start with the conditional statement. First conditional statement is if-else conditional statement. We will see the syntax and example of if-else conditional statement, and second one is if-else-if conditional statement. We will see the syntax and example of that also. So today we are going to start with our actual topic, that is if-else conditional statement. Now what are conditional statement? We use these conditional statements to check, okay, to check something. So we use conditional statement to check depend on the condition. Okay, now see what is it. The if-else statement is a part of JavaScript conditional statements which are used to perform different action based on different condition. So why we use this if-else conditional statement? We are using this conditional statement to perform some action based on the conditions. Okay, so there is a condition. Based on that condition we are going to perform, we are going to take some action, okay, in if-else statement. Now see the next. Now this is the flow chart of if-else conditional statement, where first we will check if the condition is true. Now the condition will return boolean value. It will return either true or false. Okay, so if it is true it will take some action, if it is false it will take some another action. Got it? So if the condition is true, if the condition is true, it will go in conditional code, whatever code you defined here, and if it is false then it will execute the else block, which is the default block. Now see if-else statement. Here in this statement, now see here in if-else statement, this is the syntax of if-else statement, where the first one is if condition. If is a keyword which is used to check the condition. Okay, so if the condition, here the condition will return boolean value, that is true or false. If it is returning true value, that means if condition is true, okay, if the condition is true it will execute the first block, that is called as if block. Okay, now see what is there. Block of code to be executed if the condition is true. So this block of code is going to be executed when the condition will return true. Okay, as I told you, it will return either true or false. So if it is true it will execute this block, if it is false then it will execute the else block, which is the default block. It is also called as a default block. Okay, so it will execute the else block if the condition is false. Okay, so once again the syntax is if condition where the condition will return either true or false. If the condition is true, it will execute the first block, that is called as if block, and block of code to be executed if the condition is true. So when it is true, it will execute the block of code of this if block, the first block. Okay, and else the default block of the code to be executed if the condition is false. If the condition will return true, it will skip this first block, it will skip it, okay, and directly come here in else block, which is also called as a default block, and it will execute this block of your code, okay, if the condition is false. I hope you have understood this. Okay, this is the syntax of if else statement. Okay, see it once again. Now we will move to the next slide. Now see the definition of this. Use if to specify a block of code to be executed if a specific condition is true. Use if to specify a block of code to be executed if the specific condition is true. It will execute this block of code if the specific condition is true. Use else to specify a block of code to be executed if the same condition is false. If the same condition is false, it will skip this if block and it will directly jump on this default block, which is going to be executed if the condition is false. Understood this? Now we will move to the next slide. The next slide is the example of if else statement. Now what is the question for this if else statement? The question is, write a JavaScript program. This is very simple. Write a JavaScript program to accept two values. We are going to ask the user to enter two values in prom box. We are going to accept two values by using prom box in JavaScript for user, okay, and display the greater number amongst them. We are going to find out which number is greater than the other one. Okay, so there are two numbers we are asking from the prom box by using the prom box, and then we are comparing the two values by using if condition, that which number is greater than the another one. Got it? Now see the example of this, see the coding of this. First we will see the output of this. Okay, this is the output where this is the heading, example of if else. Now to execute the code, we are supposed to select allow blocked content because we are using Internet Explorer, right? Then click on yes. Now see, JavaScript code is going to be start, okay, where we are asking the value of a first. So we are asking user to enter the value of a first. Okay, so this is the prom box. This is a prom box. As I already explained you that the prom box will first display a message on the screen, and then it will give you a input box to enter some value in this, and then it will display the OK and cancel button. When you click on OK, the entered value will pass into the variable. Okay, now see, the first situation is if the value of A is 50 and the value of B is 20, where the value of A is greater than value of B, right? I have entered the value of A as 50 and I have entered the value of B as 20. So which one is greater? A is greater, right? 50 is greater. So it will display A is greater. This is the first situation. Okay. Now for the second situation, what is the second situation? See, it is asking for the value of A, I am entering 50. It is asking for the value of B, I am entering 60. So which one is greater? 50 or 60? The value of A is 50, the value of B is 60. So it should display B is greater, right? So it will display B is greater as an output. Why? Because the value of B is greater than value of A. Correct? So these are the two situations which we can compare by using if-else statement. Got it? Now see the coding of this, how to write this program, starting with, this is the coding. Okay, we will start with doctype HTML. Why we are using doctype HTML in every page? Because doctype HTML specifies that this page that we are creating is based on HTML5. As we are using HTML5 in 12th standard, you are supposed to use HTML5 only. Okay, you are supposed to write the program in HTML5 only. This is the compulsory statement at the top of all the program. Okay, so doctype HTML, exclamatory mark, doctype HTML, this is the compulsory statement. You are supposed to write it on the top of every HTML file. Okay, the HTML, we are starting with HTML, we skip the heading tag. Okay, but you are supposed to write the heading tag as I explained it, the step size marking is there. So if you use heading tag, okay, head, title, body, closing of body, closing of script, if you write it properly, if you write the syntax properly, so you will get 1 mark on this, right? Got it? So after HTML, you are supposed to write down head, title close and head close, so you will get 1 mark on the syntax. Okay, then H1, what is H1? H1 is the largest heading in HTML, right? H1 is the largest heading. So example of if-else, it is the largest level of heading which is going to be displayed on the top. Okay, see here, H1 is the largest heading. See, it is the largest heading. Okay, the bigger one and the bolder one. Correct? So H1 tag is used to display the text between opening of H1 and closing of H1 in bolder font and the bigger font. Correct? So it is the largest level of heading. There are 6 levels of heading: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6. Where the H1 is the largest level of heading and H6 is the lowest level or smallest level of heading. Correct? So we have taken H1 as the largest level of heading. Now next one is script. We are going to start with the actual script. We are going to start with our actual programming. What we are supposed to do, we are supposed to ask user to enter 2 numbers. Correct? So where A, what is this where means? The where means it is a declaration keyword. Okay, we are going to declare the variable first before using it. Okay, in JavaScript you are supposed to first declare the variable before using the variable. Okay, so to declare the variable we use where keyword. Where is a keyword which is used to declare the variable. Where A is equal to %. % is what? It is a method, okay, which is used to convert the entered value into integer value. As I explained you that whatever you ask the user by using prompt box, that value entered by the user will always be in string format. We already practiced it too, right? So whatever you accept the value from the prompt box, the value is in the form of string, and we are going to use these values in mathematical operations, right? In logical operation, we are applying logical operations on this. We are going to check whether the value of A is greater or B. So we are using mathematical operators here. Correct? So you are supposed to first convert the asked value from user into integer value. So prompt enter the value of A. This is the statement which will display the prompt box, okay, and it will ask the user to enter the value. After asking the user to enter the value, as I entered 50 in this, so 50 is the value of A, right? So it will first convert the value into integer by using parseInt, and then it will save that value in A. Okay, so where A is equal to parseInt, prompt enter the value of A. Got it? Now where b is equal to parseInt. Now again we are asking the user to enter the value of b, and we are converting that value into integer. See, we are converting this value into integer value, and we are saying this value, asked value of b into variable b. Again we have declared this variable by using var keyword. Okay, understood this? Now next step is to display the value of a and to display the value of b on the screen first. So whatever value you accepted from the user, you first need to display that on the screen. First we have asked the value of a, so first we will display the value of a on the screen by using document.write method. Write is a method of this document object which will display the content within this parenthesis on the screen. So what we are going to display? We are going to first display a is equal to, this is the constant statement, as we enclose this statement in double quotes. See this where, okay, sorry, this value a is equal to, okay, this is the constant value. As we enclose this value into double quotes, it will display this value a is equal to, as it is on the screen. See, it is displaying a is equal to, right? So from where we are getting this? We are getting it from here, because we have entered this a is equal to in double quotes. So whatever value we want to put as it is on the screen, so you are supposed to enclose that value into double quotes first. Okay, so a is equal to, then we are going to display the value of a. See, next step is to display the value of a on screen. We have displayed 50 on screen. Why? Because user has entered the value of a as 50. Correct? So here it will display that value of a by using plus a. What this plus means here? This plus is the joining operator or concatenate operator. It will join the value of a, that is 50, with a is equal to. So it will display the value as a is equal to 50 on the screen. Why? Because in a we have entered 50 value, right? So it will display that 50 value with a is equal to. See here, a is equal to 50. Correct? Then we are going to give line break. So to give the line break, we use br tag. Correct? So now br tag is what? It is a part of HTML tag. Correct? It is a part of HTML, but we are into script now, right? So whatever tag you are using from HTML in JavaScript, you are supposed to put it in double quotes only. So br and br, it will give two line break on the screen, and then it will display b is equal to. See, it will display two line break on the screen. It will give two line break on the screen. If a is equal to 50, then break, and then b is equal to 60. Correct? So it will display the value of b is equal to as it is on the screen, and then plus b, it will display the value of b on the screen. Got it? Then if a is greater than b, the condition starts from here. If is a keyword which is used to check whether the value is returning true or false. Okay? If a is greater than b, now what we are doing here, we are checking the condition. This is the condition. A is greater than b. This is the condition. It will return either true or false. Whether a is greater than b, the value of a is 50, the value of b is 60. So is it true? The if condition is true? No, this is not true, as the value of a is 50 and the value of b is 60. So a is not greater than b. Correct? So it is returning false value. So if the value of condition is returning true, it will execute this, but the condition is false, right? So it will skip this if block and will directly jump onto else block, which is the default block, and it will display document.write again to br tag, and it will display b is greater. Why b is greater? Because see here, the value of a is 50, the value of b is 60. It will compare the value a is greater than b, as it is returning false. okay, else it is returning false because the value of A is not greater than value of B. So it will skip this if block, it will skip this block, and it will directly come on else block and will display document not right to BR tag and B is greater. I hope you have understood this. This is the first program, depend on if else statement. Now see students, there is one more scenario, that if the user has entered the value of A and the value of B equal. For example, now we have taken two conditions only, one, the value of A is greater than B, and another one, the value of the value of B is greater than A. There is only two condition, correct? So if I suppose write 50 and 50, the value of A is also 50, the value of B is also 50, but it is displaying B is greater. Why? Because it is the default one. If the condition 1 is false, it will display by default the condition 2, correct? The statement 2, where we have written B is greater, which is wrong. Is B is greater than A? No, B is not greater than A, correct? B and A both are equal value, correct? So for this we are using if else if condition, because we are supposed to check the third condition also. We are supposed to complete the scenario of third condition also, correct? So for this we will use if else if conditional statement, where if else if and else statement is used to add alternative set of simple alternative set of multiple else if and single else statement for if condition. So in case of if condition fails, if the if condition fails, then alternatively it will check for the another condition, and if the another condition is failed, then it will execute the else block, that is the default block. For example, see the block diagram here. Okay, see this, where it will check, it will start with the if condition, right? If condition 1 is true, if it is true, then it will execute the statement block 1. If the condition 1 is false, it will execute the conditional, it will check the condition 2. If the condition 2 is true, then it will execute the statement 2 block. If it is also false, if 1 is also false, 2 is also false, then it will check for the next condition, and next condition. Or if all the conditions are false, then it will check the default else statement. Okay, then it will display the default else statement, and it will display the last statement which is there in else block. For example, see here the syntax. If condition 1 is true, if it is true, then it will execute the first block, that is block 1. Else if condition 2 is true, okay, if this condition is true and first condition is false, if it is returning false, it will move on the next else if condition. If this is true, here again the condition will return again true or false, as the condition 1 is already returned false, correct? So it will come here, it will check whether the condition 2 is true or false. If it is true, it will execute this block 2. If it is wrong, if it is false, then it will execute the else block, which is the default block. Okay, now see here, in if else if statement, the flow diagram, first it will evaluate the first condition, whether the first condition is true or false. If the first condition is true, it will execute the code block 1. Okay, if the given condition is false, then it will go for the another condition, and it will check for the next condition whether it is true or false based on the status, right? And it will execute the required statement. If the case 2 is false, if it is returning, if the condition 2 is also returning false, then in that case it will go and will check the else condition. It will go and directly display the else condition. In case if all defined if and else if conditions are false, Okay, if all the conditions are false, then it will go for the else statement. Else statement where it is the default statement, and the statement block in else will get executed. For example, write our same program we are going to write, okay, where we are going to check for the another condition also. Now see, now there are three scenarios. The first scenario is the value of a is greater than the value of b, right? A is greater than b. Is it right? Is it true? Yes, it is true. So it will execute the a is greater. Okay, the second scenario is, the another scenario is the value of a is less than the value of b, right? So first condition will get false and the second condition is going to be executed, that is b is greater. Now the third scenario is, what if both the values are equal? So 50 and 50. So it will display a and b both are equal. Okay, now see the coding of this. Wave source, see, all the things are same. First we will start with if condition a is greater than b, then we will display if the a is greater than b, that is 50 is greater than 20, then it will display a is greater as an output, correct? It will display a is greater if the value of a is 50 and the value of b is 20. 50 and 20. 50 is greater than 20. The condition is true. So it will execute this block only, if block, and will come directly out of the loop. Got it? It will never check the another condition. It will never execute the default block because it is true and it is going to be execute this block first. Got it? But what if the condition is false? If the value of a is 50 and the value of b is 60, 50 and 60, so 50 is greater than 60, is it true? No, it is not true. So what it will do, it will skip this if block and will directly jump on else if block, where we are going to check the another condition, that is b is greater than a. The value of b is 60, the value of a is what? The value of a is 50. So 60 is greater than 50. The condition is right. So it will directly execute this one, that the b is greater. But what if both the conditions are false? That means the value of a is also 50, the value of b is also 50. So this will become false. Okay, this will become false and it will come here in else block and will execute both are equal. Got it? I hope you have understood this. Students, now we are going to stop here only. In next lecture, we are going to start with the another topic. Okay, we will start with the revision on another topic. Now today we have seen two conditional statement, if else and if else if else, where in if condition there is only two scenario, that whether a is greater or b is greater, and if else if there are three scenarios, that whether the value of a is greater than b, the value of b is greater than a, or the third one is both the values are equal. Correct? So to check this, we are going to use if else if block. Okay? Now today we are going to stop here only. In next lecture we will start with the next topic. Thank you so much.